Folks, big election last night. Democrat, former deputy police chief of Omaha, Nebraska, John Ewing Jr. beat the incumbent Republican Mayor Jean Stothert, who was seeking her fourth term. Boy, talk about a huge win. Ewing last night said this at his victory celebration.
Hi, I'm John Ewing, your mayor. Before I go forward with my prepared remarks, I have to tell you all a story because he's standing right here in front of me. About 13 years ago, I was in the legislative chambers when one of the former pastors in Omaha, Leroy Adams, told me I was going to be the first black mayor of Omaha. I then came down the escalator, and Pastor Cedric Perkins, who's standing right here in front of us, said, "You're going to be the first black mayor of Omaha." So within about 2 minutes, I heard that from those two men, and I said, okay, that sounds good, but I didn't know if I truly embraced it at that moment. But they said that to me with such conviction that it stuck with me. And so thank you for sharing that with me, and thank you for being a great friend throughout this whole process. Tonight, we embark on a new chapter. I am deeply honored and humbled to stand before you today as your mayor-elect.
Well, Mayor-elect Ewing joins us right now on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Glad to have you on the show. First up, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. This is an exciting moment in our city, and we are on top of the world.
So I thought if you look at all these other mainstream white media shows, they say that the Democratic Party is dead. How could you, a black Democrat, beat a three-term incumbent Republican?
I don't think the Democratic Party is dead. I think what we need to do is show people that we are common sense folks who can bring people together and who can get things done. And that's what I've done in my 43-year career in Omaha. And that's what I sold to the people, that we were going to bring people together. We had a vision of creating economic opportunity for everybody in this city, increasing very intentional economic development in North and South Omaha. And that's what was the message that helped us win.
Now, this was not the first time you ran for mayor of Omaha.
Yes, it is.
This was the first time?
Yes, it was.
So you, now previously, because in your remarks there, you said that's when you were in the state legislature.
No, what happened is I'm the Douglas County treasurer.
Got it.
And I was up in our legislative chambers for the city council, county board, and all of those organizations. And I came down from a meeting up there. As I was leaving, Pastor Leroy Adams made the comment as I got to the bottom of the escalators to go back to my office. Then Pastor Cedric Perkins made the comment to me as well. So I've been the Douglas County treasurer. This is my 19th year, and I'm actually the first African-American to win a countywide election in Nebraska as well.
So, so with that, what would you say to other Democrats, other black Democrats who are running, whether it's mayor, for state rep, state senate, because when you look at these polls, oh my God, the Democratic brand is so awful, it's so bad. Yet when you look at a special election in Pennsylvania, one in Iowa, when you look at other ones, you see wins taking place. What do you say to people who, when they hear that, oh my God, the party is rudderless, it has no leadership, what do you say to that?
I think you have to be your own individual first. And then I think, secondly, you have to show the people what you stand for and the fact that you are going to partner with them. One of the things I showed the people in Omaha is the chaos that is happening in Washington, D.C. And I compared that to my leadership style and how I was going to lead this city. And that resonated with people across political aisles, Democrats, Republicans, independents. People want good government, and that's what Democrats have to deliver. We have to impact people's quality of life.
And when you look at your focus, what is your primary focus when you are sworn in and you become the mayor of Omaha?
I want to do intentional economic development. That was my number one thing that I talked to the people of this community about. We have an urban core plan that primarily impacts downtown Omaha, Nebraska. I want to spread that to the North Omaha community, which is primarily Black folks, and then into the South Omaha community, which has a large contingent of Latino members of our community, so that they can take part in the economic development in this city and the opportunities in this city. Omaha is ranked highly by places like Forbes magazine as the number one place to live. Well, I want us to be the number one place for everybody.
You were deputy police chief.
Yes.
And what often happens is when public safety is an issue, a lot of Democrats try to run as hardcore as they can because this notion that Democrats are soft on crime. How do you make the argument, though, as somebody who served in that capacity, now will be the mayor, that there has to be a balancing act when a lot of these cities are spending 50 and 60% or even more of their city budget on police and fire?
I think we have to have a balance, as you're saying, and I think one of the things I wanted to make sure the people of this community understood is that I do want to increase the staffing because we're about 130 officers short. But I don't want to do that so we're heavy on crime and we're writing more tickets and all of those things. What I want to do is get Omaha police officers the opportunity to be able to do community policing and be able to partner with their community and be able to help their community address the issues as they see them, not just as the police department sees them. And one of the things I point to is I was co-chair of the Crime Prevention Covenant here in Omaha when we started an effort called the Empowerment Network. We were able to reduce gun violence by partnering with the community about 70%. And we are one of 4 model communities because of that, as designated by President Barack Obama's foundation. So it's really about partnering with the people of this community and doing policing with them. And so the people of this community understand my experience in police, and they understand how I want policing to be in this city. We're partners, not people who are doing policing to you.
Questions from my panel. Nyambe, you're first.
So congratulations, Mayor-elect Ewing.
Thank you.
This is huge. So can you talk a little bit about how you approach these local communities? Because I can imagine this is not something that can be handled by, consultants and others outside of Omaha. This had to be a very local, very hands-on approach. So can you talk a little bit about your approach to your campaign?
Sure. So the first thing is I've been in public service in this community for 43 years. Mm-hmm. First as a member of the Omaha Police Department, and then the last 18 and a half years as Douglas County Treasurer. But I've also been heavily involved in community service, having served on about 70 boards. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things you have to do is you have to know your community and you have to know your people. So everything we did with the campaign was local people who also knew the city, but they understood politics and I understood the city. So we took and combined those two approaches in order to develop a strategy that would help us win. In the primary, as an example, we had significantly less money than the two people that everybody thought were going to go into the general. We spent about $3.66 a vote. But I had the name recognition, I had the reputation, and then we worked hard. We knocked doors from January to yesterday. We also did phone calls, we did robocalls, we did everything we could to reach out to the voters with our message, and I attended 40 or 50 different forums and neighborhood community group meetings and was able to get my message out there. But I think it really starts with knowing your community.
Thank you.
Andrew?
Yes, so the first thing I know that is on everyone's mind, first, congratulations to you. Are you related to Patrick Ewing?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your question. I don't know if you froze or if
He asked, are you related to Patrick Ewing? He must be a Georgetown Hoya or something.
I used to tell people that when I was younger, but I'm about a foot shorter than he is.
And congratulations to you, Mayor.
Thank you.
If you could just educate us on how were you able to overcome 12 years that the previous mayor was in office. How were you able to overcome that? I know that you talked about what your election process was like, but what do you think was the central message that you had that was different?
Well, one of the things I try to do, and I don't think people do enough of it, is I ran a clean campaign, but I did talk about my opponent's record and some of the broken promises that were made, for instance, with the restaurant tax that we had. She ran saying that she was going to eliminate it when she was running for her first term. And we still have that restaurant tax. So I reminded people of those type of things, as well as we have a streetcar project that she said was going to go to a vote, and she did not put it to a vote. So I reminded people of her record. I think one of the things we sometimes do is we don't remind people of our opponent's record and we let them get a free pass. I wasn't going to give anybody a free pass in this election.
Rebecca?
John, I got two questions for you. The first question, so potholes. The last time I was back home in Omaha, the streets were kind of jacked up. What is your plan for fixing the potholes in Omaha?
So one of the things that I do is I use people that are really smart and experts in their area. And Rebecca, as you know, being from Omaha, Jim Suttle was mayor, but he was also public works director. And so I told Jim Suttle today, I said, Jim, I've been talking to people about fixing the potholes. One of the things you're going to help me do is you're going to help me develop a plan so we can let the people know that we are serious about repairing their streets. And then we're going to tell them what the plan is. So Jim Suttles, he joked with me and said, man, you're going to put me back to work full time? And I said, yes, I am. But that's what I'm going to do is count on experts. One of the things I know also, Rebecca, is that the city used the wrong type of concrete for their street repairs for at least the last 12 years. And I believe that we have to look at substances that will hold up to the weather in Omaha, Nebraska, when we have all of the snow, all of the freezing, ice, and all of the thawing and freezing and all of those things. So that's something I'm going to investigate as well, looking at what cities that are successful are using in terms of materials.
All right, then. Well, go ahead, Rebecca, go ahead.
One more question. Now, first of all, John, congratulations to you and your team
Absolutely.
and your wife, Dr. Viv Ewing.
But she's listening right across from me.
Absolutely. I know she would be. So it was historical. But each time you've run in Omaha, it's been historical in nature. There are a lot of little black boys and little black girls who now will know that there is a black mayor in Omaha, and representation matters. So what does it mean to you, especially when you're looking in the eyes of your grandson?
What it means to me is that people, especially our people, get to see someone who looks like them in the most powerful position in this city, and they get to believe their dreams are possible. When I first became Douglas County Treasurer, I went into the schools quite a bit, and even up until COVID, and I would tell young people, there's nothing special about me. But I've been able to work hard. I've been able to take advantage of the opportunities, and my dreams have come true. If you do the same thing, then your dreams are possible as well. I was even sharing that message at a program today honoring 8th grade honor roll students, that your dreams are possible. And that's the message I want them to believe. And that's what I said in some of my interviews last night, is that I hope they're watching. I hope they read about this. And I don't just mean in Omaha, Nebraska. I mean across this country. I want our young people to see that their dreams are possible. That's what my life has been about. That's what my public service has been about. When I first became a police officer, one of the first things I did was I became a Boy Scout leader at Lothrop Elementary School, where I went to elementary school.
All right, then. All right. Well, Mayor-elect, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us. When is the inauguration?
It's going to be on June 9th. And I just have to say really quickly, for those who don't know, Rebecca was my campaign manager when I ran for Congress in 2012. And she did an amazing job for me. I believe she was either the only or one of only 2 Black women who was a campaign manager during that cycle. So I'm proud to see you continuing to do well also.
All right, then. Rebecca, you're supposed to reveal that. How you didn't say nothing?
I told your producer.
You're supposed to say it.
Okay, so I want to say it. It was the closest race in 2012 that was not backed by the Democratic Party. And so part of the reason why is that John heard this and I heard this. They didn't think a Black man could win in Nebraska. So I think that story is so powerful, because there are a lot of Black folks in this country who want to run for office and higher office, but they're told by different folks that you can't do it. And so it's very important, when you are a strong local leader and you're connected with community, you will win elections.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you all.
All right. We appreciate it. Good luck. Thanks a lot.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.